Okay, so this is for project Monterey building type 2. This one went fairly good. There's a few sections that don't match the plans. I just want to point those out. So basically we started this building with a standard heel where this green line is, and here, which is a 2x4 at 4.25 and 12 pitch, plus a 5/16 to quarter-inch butt cut, and that kind of drives where all the heights are being done. So when we look at the elevations, well, let's look at this roof plan. So we got standard heel here, standard heel here, standard heel here, and then as soon as we go over to here, this is 3'6" plus the standard. This is 3'6" plus the standard. This heel right here I figured at 1'4". I'll show you on the elevation. And that is figured by right here. This is like the floor system that supports the unit above. So this line's going through here, which is 11 1/4 plus 3/4 inches plus standard heels, and that's how that heel height is figured. When we look at the stair area, the distance from here to here is 19'1.5" inches. That drives the mansard on the mechanical well, and when you go from 19'1 1/4 this way at 4.25 and 12 pitch plus a 1'4" heel height, you are left with 8'1 1/4" top of roof based on this run. And it looks like the elevations were drawn so that they wanted to make this roof line match all the way across. The only way that is possible is if all those spans were in line with each other and they all had the same heel, and if they weren't in line with each other, one was stubbed starting off of the base of the distance from this being the 4-inch heel. So this roof over the stair and this roof over the stair is not drawn accurately. With this, all the heel heights and everything figured in there, this valley line comes back here. It comes along the roof at a certain point and changes here, and that affects the roof plan. Go back to the roof plan, and it's right here. So you have it drawn with the valley line way back here meeting. It doesn't quite do that. With this matching the heel height out here, the valley line starts about here and then it cuts back. So this is all over framing to make that roof plan. I'll show you in 3D. And that's what it looks like in 3D. So there's your 1'4" heel. And there's the overframe. So let's go back to the PDFs. So this roof is going to have to, the roof plan will have to change here. Okay. Let's look at the rear elevations. This area of the roof and this area of the roof is shown like a fascia to end, a fascia gable end with two spans. Here's a ridge line, here's another ridge line. Let's take a look at the elevations. In the elevation, there's just a critical part of the roof missing here, not drawn, and the pop out with the other span showing the fascia. I don't think you would want to have that small break in the fascia. Your best thing to do is maybe change this span here and raise the heel up to match the offset as a stub. Then the top of the roof sheeting would blend all the way across. Let's look at the rear elevation. So these two roofs would blend here. This line right here would disappear because currently you have a very tiny fascia board that's ripped to the top of the tile roof, and we'll look at it in 3D so you can see what it looks like. So here's the the offset, and there is the fascia nightmare right there, because on the back side of this ridge everything else blends. There again we ran it. There's a little issue here. This roof is diving down, but the rest of this roof is based here to the roof plane, but there's nothing taking care of this. One option would be to change all the framing in these couple units. Maybe changing this framing direction and running monos from here to here, putting a girder across here, and then continuing this span back. And maybe instead of breaking, we could break the roof sheathing here, and then pitch this up to match this plane of the roof. But that's going to be for you guys to decide and make a revision. But I don't think you want it that way. So get back to me on that section. Let's look at the rest of the plans. On the structural page, let's see, get our marbles so we know where we're at. Okay, right here. Okay, there is a girder truss right here that is showing diving into this corner of a story above. There needs to be a connection detail for the corner of this girder truss and how's it being supported. It is a truss to structure connection, so it's responsible of the EOR. Same thing on the opposite end. Same thing. I need the PSF loading for the boilers. Right now this girder truss is not shown where it should be. It should be in line with where the roof breaks, and then this shouldn't be called a girder truss because it's not girdering anything. I also want to make sure that this unit, this is the way we're doing it. It's showing one continuous span sitting on two party walls. There's not a detail for this. There is a party wall detail, and it shows like a truss down the center with a mono and a mono hangering into it with verticals at every truss. This isn't called out that way. It's just called out as one, which is a cleaner way to do it. I can supply blocks for both sides of this shear. So just let me clarify this. Same thing with this one. This is not a girder truss. It's just a drag truss. It's not supporting. It's not girdering anything. Same thing on the opposite side. It's not a girder truss. I'm figuring for anything that goes high to low roof, span changes are we using the 20 SW3 detail, typical. Right here at the attic access. So this is a roof access that's inside the trusses, not outside the trusses. So there probably needs to be a detail for how this is going to be done. You're probably going to need a self-closing door here, and then another self-closing door on the outside, because this is part of the roof. We'll take a look at the roof plan so you can see it. So here's the pitched roof area. The mansard mechanical roof starts beyond, so there needs to be a self-closing door in here. Structurals right here. So what I was saying is, this is where the this mono pitched roof is going here and dying. There probably needs to be a detail for how this roof is being framed on top of this truss. Like There's going to be a stud wall framed on top of the trusses, and this is showing continuing down, but there's only 4 inches of heel here, and this is up much higher like I had shown in the 3D. Right here, so there's like a hole in the roof right there. And this is what I was talking about, having the access door, and then there'll have to be a hole in the girder truss, and then a wall will have to be framed out and on top of the roof to box out a self-closing door that accesses outside, unless for some reason you guys move the attic access and put it in a mechanical area. It looks like it was pretty tight with how many mechanical units were up there. Let's look at that roof plan. Yeah, so you know, if you were to put the hatch somewhere in here, you definitely have to move all these units and move stuff around. But yes, this access is within a mono-pitched roof and not in the mechanical area. Right here, it's also being shown with an overhang. You only see the overhang from right here until it meets this pitched roof from 9'1". Let's take a look at the elevation so you can see it. Right here. So this is 9'1" running back at the pitch, and this is the overhang. Once these two roofs converge, you will not see an overhang. If you want an overhang there, I could put one, but it doesn't make sense why there would be one. You're not seeing it. And this is what I'm talking about, right there. Because right past this pitch, this top of roof hides all this and beyond. I think that's it for right now. Just, you know, need to get those things. Oh yeah, right down here. So typically on all these B units, on the 3 type, you're actually showing it correct on the 3 type. On the 2 type, you're showing the span going out to this below plate line beam, which would turn it into a tail bearing truss, and you already got a ceiling here that is flat. So is there any way that we could make this same as the 2 plan, or the 3 type, and put this header here, and then this is just an extended overhang that goes down to a lower plate line? And that should be it.